Greetings and welcome to it. Today is President's Day. That would be February 18th. Yes, I actually had to check the date. All right, well, since it is President's Day, I thought that I would have a very interesting Q of the day, asking you about the most badass presidents of all time. And I ask you on two different levels. One, fake presidents. We all see movies that have fake presidents in them, but which one would you say is the most baddest of the bad? I'm going with Bill Pullman with President Whitmore from the movie Independence Day. Now, being a president kind of sucks. It's a hard job. There's a lot of paperwork. And, as much jokes as we would like to make about cigars and hooking up with interns, it's a really tough job. Now, could you imagine doing that tough job with an alien invasion on top of it and then giving a speech like Bill Pullman gave in Independence Day? Nope. Probably not. So he's my pick for the best fictional president of all time. That's one of the things that you can weigh in on at facebook.com/Q103 Hawaii. Now, real presidents. I ask, who was the most badass president of all times? And on our list, and I got this list from a website called cracked.com, we had a couple that we mentioned. Andrew Jackson, who was once, I guess you could say luckier than God, because two guns that were aimed directly at him and the triggers pulled never went off. Now, he ended up beating Mr. Lawrence, who was the assassinator, within inches of his life with a walking cane. There was no Secret Service during the time of Andrew Jackson. Pretty badass? Yeah. All right, but there's not as badass as, say, John Kennedy, who, as a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy, ended up in the water with some very bad burns, a chronic bad back, and some injured sailors. What did he do? Well, he grabbed one of the sailors' life jacket in his teeth and swam for 4 miles, pulling the injured sailor to safety on shore. Then, every single day, he swam out a couple of miles every single day, looking for some U.S. patrols until him and his crew were rescued. And keep in mind that this is the guy that got shot in the head. That's pretty badass as far as presidents go. But is it as badass as who I think the most badass president of all time was? Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt once took a bullet right before he was to give a political speech. He was running for his third term. This crazy guy comes running out of the audience, puts a gun that close to his chest, pulls the trigger. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, the gun didn't go off. Oh, he had something in his jacket. No, the gun went off, the bullet was fired, and it stayed in Teddy Roosevelt for the entire speech. Teddy Roosevelt, with a fresh, open bullet wound, pouring blood profusely during a speech, just sat there like it didn't even bother him. This is a guy that kicked asthma's ass, and when the U.S. Army says, hey, we don't need any help from guys like you, formed his own army and entered the conflict. You remember them as the Rough Riders. So who is your pick for the most badass president of all time? Now, keep in mind, our last three presidents, President Obama, he's a lawyer. President George Bush, law school. And Clinton, law school. But who do you think is the most badass president of all time? Let us know. Facebook.com/Q103 Hawaii. It is our Q of the day. Okay? Facebook.com/Q103 Hawaii. Let's get ready to wrap up the show. And maybe I should do something about the original Teflon Don. George Washington was such a tough president. One time when he rode into battle on horse in front of all of his men, that's where all the bullets are going, right? From both sides. The horse was shot out from under him, not once, but twice. What does George Washington do? He doesn't give up. He goes and grabs a fresh horse and goes running up and down the lines again. By the time the battle was done, it was found that he had a couple of bullet holes in his jacket, but George Washington was never touched in that battle. Scary or badass? I don't know, but pretty badass as far as presidents. All right, let's get ready to wrap up the show, shall we? New stuff from a guy that you might, well, you know his dad. Squidly Cole. You'll know his dad as Stranger Cole. Q103, a root station. That's Diamond Queen wrapping it up for me on a President's Day. Hope you had a good President's Day today. And if not, well, there's still plenty of day left. I know a lot of parts of the island are under, some wet, maybe even some cold conditions. As a matter of fact, today I wore long sleeves. It's so cold. But have some fun with the kids. They're out of school today. And why not? Since it's President's Day, teach them a little bit about some presidents. Too often, we as parents kind of sit back and let the public schools do all the edumacating for us. Bad idea. Did you know if it wouldn't have been for my parents, I would have never known how cool a president Calvin Coolidge was. And he was really kind of cool. Or the sheer most awesome behavior of one Theodore Roosevelt. Or how about FDR? I would have never known the behind-the-scenes crazy stories. Like, my dad was born in 1940, so he has FDR stories. I would have never known about them had my parents not talked to me about, well, stuff. So today, even though the kids are out of school, take some time, grab your Google. I would say grab an encyclopedia, but come on. Who are we kidding? It's Google. Look up some famous presidents today and talk to your kids about them, you know? The more they're educated on what great men should be, the more that they will know what they will be. And that includes the daughters, too. Because if you spend some time teaching them about great men, chances are they won't bring losers to your doorstep. Just some helpful hints, dads. 877-0103. I'm going to pretty much get out of here for the day. Kamikaze is going to be in this afternoon, so keep that number handy. He'll have the All Request to Drive at 5, you know? If you'd like to weigh in on our Q of the Day, you know where that's at, on our Facebook page. And until later, tomorrow. Love you, mean it. Get in, bye. I'm out. Yeah. And that is something. My parents took the time to educate me on the presidents because they thought, hey, these are the guys that lead our country. And if you know a little something about them, well, you might know why our country's so screwed up. Good advice.
Want to see more Q103?
Check out our Q-blog on our website.
For extended artist interviews, behind-the-scenes videos, and more. Log on to Q103Maui.com today.